So from Melbourne, you know, you work everywhere, you know, and you hate winter, you know, and you learn to drive. You have your first car. I had a Torana SLR 5000. They had just come out. Then one day I decided to move to Gove in the northern Australia for on a bauxite mine, working there. And then that's where everything started. And basically then from Gove, I moved to Groote Eylandt in the manganese mine. And then while in Groote Eylandt, I joined Norforce, a reserve army unit, based on Aboriginal soldiers. The idea was to raise the level of soldiers from 60 to a battalion. And the area of operation, the area of Norforce, was 1,800,000 square miles of or kilometers of land, you know. So we specialize in vehicle, foot, and water patrol. And then you do 13 specialist courses. And I became an instructor, like, how do you say, very respected by the Aboriginal community, because there was a lot of flack at first, but I was also working in the community of Ngurugu as a community development officer, and helping them, you know, community development, you know, sports and other stuff, and building sports infrastructure, and I started the May Day Carnival, you know, and then in 1998, I think it was, I went to Sydney for the Aboriginal National Reconciliation, and I think that's where I met Alain Saint-Ange. He was working there at the time, even we didn't know each other then. And then I went there with the Aboriginal people. But I was very involved with the Ngurugu Aboriginal people, and in my heart I'm still living at Ngurugu, you know. And
so were the part of the army, the battalion that you were in, were they mostly Australians, or were they from everywhere? Just, you know, Australia was such a young country. So
yeah, well, mostly Australian,
yeah.
you know, all Australian, but Norforce, most of the instructors are non-Aboriginal, you know, but everyone else is full-blood Aboriginal, you know, or basically coloured, you know, I can't say half caste, I don't like that word very much, but you know, indigenous soldiers, you know, it was based all on the, I won't say just indigenous soldiers. Norforce was open to boys and girls of Australian society. But at that time, during my time, girls were not allowed to do the patrolman course. The patrolman course is basically after a recruit. You do a patrolman course. It was a bit like the Carter course you do in the SAS. And I did train also with the Special Forces, you know, because we use a lot of their training, PAM, part of our, you know, they modify the SAS unit and incorporate Norforce. And Norforce was a very important unit during the Japanese invasion of Darwin in 1944, I think it was, or 43, you know, and the unit then was called the Nakarus. You know, they were the bush commando, you know, and basically they ride on horseback, they were doing a lot of skirmish. It's the second priority unit in Australia, you know. But so I helped develop that. But then that gave me a great rapport with all the Aboriginal communities, because in Arnhem Land, you know, we were, you know, from Elko, Yirrkala, you know, Numbulwar, Rose River, Milingimbi, Remengining, you know, all over the place. So I had a C-130 or a Caribou aircraft at my disposal at many times, where we would pick up soldiers and come, you know, rifle training or whatever, going to Gove. It was like doing the milk run, you know, so, and we were Arnhem Squadron, you know, that's Southeast Arnhem Land. Then you got the Kimberley Squadron, the Centre Squadron in Alice Spring and Burulula, a bit of that, and North Queensland Squadron, you know, all the way to Wipa and, you know, all this area. And basically, and so with Norforce as a recruit, then you get promoted, and I was promoted to corporal at a very early age because of my leadership, you know, and also my rapport with the Aboriginal people. did the section commander's course, and all the units in Australia, Army, Air Force, did the patrol commander's course in North Force, which we did just outside Darwin. And basically, and our base of North Force is based in Larrakia in Darwin itself. You know, that's where North Force or NORCOM is based. And
So how much time did you spend in Darwin, in that territory?
so I would say, oh my God, I would say over 25 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So at that time, you had spent more of your lifetime with Aboriginal
Oh,
communities
yes,
than with any
yes,
other.
exactly, yes, and that's just not in Groote Island, but at Yirrkala also in Gove, because in Gove I used to coach soccer, and you know, different people altogether, you know, because they speak Yolgo Mata, and Groote Island they speak Anida Yakwa, and Numorwa they speak Nugubuyu. In Nuka they speak Creole, which is a pidgin, kind of. So I was able to learn a lot of a bit of that dialect, especially in Groote Island, because in Groote Island I got initiated in a tribe, the Lalara tribe, and so I had a skin mother. Her name was, I cannot mention her name because she's passed away, because I've done ceremony. I cannot mention the deceased name. But she was from the Wannabe family coming from the mainland in northern Annam land, and her father was a great Takia. Takia was one of the greatest warriors that was in Annam land during that time, you know, and basically he got captured by an Englishman called Fred Gray. He was developing a community called Ambakamba, like the Christian Mission Society. And Fred Gray took him to Darwin because at that time there was a Japanese trepang fisherman that had basically, raped an Aboriginal girl, and Takia speed them. And so he was taken to Darwin by Fred Gray in a lugger, and then put in a box and thrown in the Darwin harbour, you know, and the people have never got over this. And my mother, Galija, came from that tribe, you know, and she never knew her age, and she was an artist. I've got lots of her work up there. But I was very fortunate that my biological mother got to meet her. And so Mum came on 2 occasions to Arnhem Land. She visited my sister in Brisbane and in Melbourne. Then I flew her to Groote Island to stay with me. And Mum got to live with the Aboriginal people, with all the old ladies. She used to take the broom and sweep, and I think this is why I live a bit like that, with all the dogs. You know, she used to kick, you know, because in Seychelles you don't allow dog in the house.
Okay.
And she would cook sticky rice and fish for them every day, and basically, so I had a great rapport, and also you speak a bit of their language, that breaks the barrier.
Wow.
But I was very involved in the National Truth Reconciliation, Death in Custody. I was a little bit kind of, and on the Lost Generation, I was very much, not fully on the panel, but, you know, how do you say, as a spokesperson at times.